Highlighting the best of Cyprus and the inspiring commitment to arts and culture, Culturescope shines a spotlight on the natural beauty and sheer diversity of the island, its previously hidden gems, and the people who continue to make a positive contribution to Cyprus, both locally and abroad. Hello, I'm Paul Lambis and welcome to the penultimate episode of Season 2 of Culturescope, featured on Cyprus Mail's interactive web portal Good Living. Our location for this episode is Koutourou, Ouzeri, Pafos, a trendy, highly respected restaurant serving traditional dishes with a modern twist in an environment that's dotted with objets d'art from the early 20th century. Located in one of Pafos's beautiful old colonial-style buildings, Koutourou Ouzeri was opened by chef-proprietor Dimitris Nicolaou in 2014.
I am Dimitris Nicolaou. I am the chef and owner at Koutourou. I wanted to expose also my collections and to do what I know to do, food. I thought it would be a nice combination. I grew up in a restaurant. My parents used to have a restaurant a long time ago. One of the things that inspires me, it's my memories. The village is my grandmother, it's my mother. I always woke up in a house that the smells were everywhere, the flavors were everywhere, and many of my dishes are based on my memories.
All food is cooked to order and the menu changes every day. Using seasonal ingredients, each plat de jour meal is a masterful work of art that is unique every time.
I don't want to do things that other people are doing. Almost every day we change the menu. Some things we can't change it because they're customers' favorites. One of the dishes that it's also customers' favorite, not only my favorite, is our halloumi. Something very simple. It's just halloumi, honey, garlic, olive oil. But the combination and the way of cooking and even the pot that we put it in, brings something wow outside to the customers, but with some humble ingredients and not fancy stuff.
Whether you prefer traditional cuisine, a contemporary twist, or a finely presented plate, you will find the fine dining experience to please your palate in a second-to-none environment at Koutourou Ouzeri, Pafos.
From the minute my customers walk in the door, I want them to feel relaxed. I want them to feel home. I start my day happy, and that's very important for me. And I believe that people can see that also on the result and on the dishes.
In an exclusive interview with Culturescope, Kodros Pilakoutas reveals how the Pilakoutas group is at the edge of evolution, constantly raising its standards to ensure quality, consistency, and professionalism across the board.
My father used to have a garage, and I used to go into the garage, interfere with the engines and so forth. And that's how we become passion for cars. I was born in Kaimakli. I am 94 years old, and I'm very proud of it. There is no such a thing as retire, because of all the spreading of the company and all what we have succeeded. I am personally, in this age of mine, I'm involved in the industrial side of the business of Pilakoutas Group, which is the diesel engine, marine engines, generators, all these tractors and all these things, which was the original original job I started with the Pilakoutas group. I started developing the Pilakoutas group. And it was not easy at the beginning. When I came to Cyprus, in an empty place, nobody would like to come. So what I thought was to collect all the cars of the neighbors instead of having them in the sun and in the rain, to have them on the shed, to put them in the garage, to look that the garage is full of cars. And that's how the whole thing started. In 1958, the big miracle came to the company, the BMW agency. Yes, we had the agency in 1958, but they didn't have any cars to give us, right-hand drive. Don't forget, in Cyprus is right-hand drive. In Germany, it's different. So we waited until 1962, when the first BMW arrived in Cyprus. And it was the small 700 LS with the engine in the rear. The first 1800 came, and the 2000 in 1968, and then the BMW shoot up like sky. And then the invasion came, and everything was at a standstill. A good friend of mine those days, who was a contractor in the Arabian countries, asked me, why don't you go to Dubai and see what you can do? Mr. George Paraskevaitis, actually. And he convinced me at the end, and I went to Dubai. Hard work, very hard work. We didn't have a showroom, we didn't have a leg to start. The headhunters, when they saw how successful we were, the headhunters kept writing to me to offer me big jobs. If you want to be that, if you want the CEO. I said, look, this is my job. I don't want to do anything like this. I received from my 60th birthday, dear Mr. Kodros Pilakoutas, dear Mr. BMW of the Gulf, you can afford to look back with a good feeling and talk about your life with pride because of your achievement. You are not only a successful car dealer, but also a courageous pioneer. We thank you for your loyalty and friendship. Our Lord may protect you mentally and physically for many years to come. I stayed there 15 years, and I consider I divided the time like this. The first 5 years was difficult like hell. The second 5 years, I began to smile. The third 5 years, I lived like a lost. I love working, and when you love working and you love what you are doing, it's easy. Everybody used to see the company is flourishing and is run by a professional. And after the Land Rover, we acquired Jaguar. After the Jaguar, we acquired Nissan. After Nissan came Renault, Dacia, Mitsubishi. I mean, it was a complete shoot-up. And that is what you see today. I sit back and think, how on earth can we succeed at it? But we did, with the help also of my son, now with the help of the grandchildren, and I hope that the success will keep on with the new members of the company. I was always looking up, aim high. If you have that feeling, aiming high, that is inspiration by itself. Don't stop. Don't look at the failure. I mean, anybody who's working, making mistakes, fails somewhere and wins somewhere else. But keep on and on and on. Don't give up, whatever happened to you. Αν δεν θέλεις να σε ξεχάσουν μόλις πεθάνεις, γράψε κάτι που αξίζει να διαβαστεί ή κάνε κάτι που αξίζει να γραφτεί. Believe it or not, after you die, you don't have a very big chance to be remembered. So, but now you have the book. Who knows for how long you'll be remembered.
Nedie Antoniades is a veteran of many films, television and stage credits. Her incredible talent and charisma have cemented her place among the most celebrated Cypriot actresses of her generation. Nedie, what influenced you to pursue a career in acting?
I was very lucky in primary school here in Cyprus. I had a teacher, Glyn Hughes, the famous artist, who did this drama club at school where he would improvise various myths and stories and biblical stories, and he would take a number of stories and improvise them with us. And there was a moment in front of the audience where I was like, oh, this is where I'm meant to be. This is what I'm meant to do. I was 7. So it's not something I could articulate at the time. I grew up with parents and grandparents who made a point of taking us to the theatre, made a point of making sure we saw certain films, and the friends you have growing up and how we all work together. And then one day when the time comes and you have to figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life, and you find out you don't really have a choice, this is what you're going to do.
Who do you consider to be your acting role model whose career you wanted to emulate, and why?
I don't think there was ever a specific conscious thought of I need to emulate them, or I want to be like them, or there was admiration. I think that it's not so much the emulating. For example, I remember the first time I saw the Oscars. First time I saw the Oscars, there was someone on the screen who had common characteristics with me. She was a woman and she was Greek American. And she was something different. And it was Olympia Dukakis, who I was very lucky later in my life to get to know her. And she had a strength and a voice that was strong. And I said, so someone who's Greek American can succeed. Because I was born there, and it was still how I identified at that age. Not anymore, but at that age, yes. I was inspired by, I'd say, her strength, how vocal she was about her opinions, her activism. I've been lucky enough to work with Nedie, who is someone I admire greatly. Her ability to create work that has something to say, and to create the circumstances and to nurture as well new talent. I'd see Vivian Lee in Gone with the Wind and be like, wow, look at what she does. So it's always been a collection of qualities in various people, and those qualities that I admire that make up, something I aspired to, maybe, yes. Something that plays a very big role in my life is a platform, Sezon Gynekes, a platform that I co-founded with Magdalena Zira and Athina Kassiou, women directors. And our reason for existence was the lack of the female narrative and the female voice in theatrical creation mostly, and then it's evolved. So I can't help but have that in the back of my mind. How is a female character being portrayed? Is it something that I want to be attached to? Does it speak to me and how I think we should be portrayed in film, theatre, television,
Zmirni Mo Agapimeni is your latest film based on Mimi Denisi's stage play of the same name. What was it like transitioning from stage to screen for the role of Angelika Baltazzi?
Zmirni Mo Agapimeni is by far, to date, the most demanding production and the biggest production I've ever been involved in. It's, I think, the biggest production to ever come out of Greece. The cast and crew were all local, so it's a very Greek film. I was in the stage production of Zmirni Mo Agapimeni in 2014, it was. And the play went on to have a very long life. And then I reprised the role, in film. I'm lucky to have someone like Mimi in my life who's a mentor as well and exposed me to such great actors and actresses that I was able to learn from. Being in this film, being in the play, being in 74 at the time with You, which deals with the women of the invasion in Cyprus. There was a day when we were shooting the scene where we're packing up to leave the house. And some tweet came up on my phone before we had started shooting. It was a really hard day to be shooting. And it happened to be World Refugee Day. It was in June. And I turned to Mimi and I said, "It's World Refugee Day today." She started, her eyes, welled up. There's a sense of responsibility that comes, you cannot help but have when sharing the stories of displaced people, whether or not you were. I think for us as Cypriots who were displaced people, who have been, I don't belong to a family of refugees, but I grew up in a household of them. The parallels are never ending. And the repetition of history is never ending, whether it was 74, whether it was Myrni, whether it was before, whether it was, the Syrian refugee crisis, whether it was, it's a constant. It seems to be a constant, whether you go back to ancient times and look at the displaced people of, ancient wars. So the story of the Trojan women, there's a never-ending struggle in humanity. So, I think that the concept of displacement is a high priority responsibility in telling these stories. There's many times that for work I have to be away from them. To have your kids tell you it's okay because I understand that this is important and you need to do this is all the validation I need to, and free, it gives me wings to be able to go off and do my thing. And when I know that they are behind me, they've got my back.
Christos Shakallis is one of the most acclaimed dance choreographers of Cyprus, creating both original and new interpretations of existing dances that highlight the extent of his love of and devotion to dance. Christos, you're a celebrated choreographer, dancer, creative thinker, and you've even performed in the Eurovision Song Contest representing Cyprus abroad. How did the journey into dance begin?
It all started from my parents. So actually my father and my mother, they were involved in dancing, and they're the ones that they created the whole Shakallis dance industry, let's say, heritage. Back in 1975, so most of it was about Cypriot traditional dancing and Greek dancing. And throughout the years, the need of people just to come and learn to dance, not to be a performer or to go on stage, just to learn from themselves. He sensed that need. So he opened a dance school, the Shakallis dance school, where he created a lot of programs for kids, for teenagers and for adults to come and join the magnificent world of dance, to be able to socialize, exercise, and learn how to dance and express themselves through the beautiful art of dance. I was learning how to dance from an early age with my sister, because we go along this journey, dancing journey together. I went to England, Lando Studio Center, where I did study performing arts. I did classical ballet, I did modern, I did jazz, I did flamenco, Latin American. So I got all these different dance disciplines in my body. And then when coming back to Cyprus, all this created the new character. I mean, you see that the Bekiko dance, it has influence. I have a technique background, or dancing background, that takes traditional dance to another level. I could not imagine myself now separated from dance or has nothing to do with dancing. It has to be part of my life.
Your awards, achievements, performances, and television appearances, both locally and internationally, are many. What has been the most defining of them all?
Working with the Zebekigo and the Zorba and be able to make choreographies that people embrace them and hug them from YouTube, from the media. And then I got invited to travel a lot. It was a nice experience. I've been to many countries trying to share my dance heritage and knowledge. And you feel very touched by doing this because they want you there. They might be from Bulgaria, from Russia, from Egypt, from Lebanon, even in Turkey I was there and they like Greek dancing, so many countries, and they want to learn. They ask you a million questions. How do you dance this? What do you want to express? How do you feel when you dance? How can we improve? And they want to learn. And that's a nice feeling. The Guinness Book was, it started with the municipality of Ayanapa. So I prepared an easy choreography. Even though the Zebekigo is a solo dance, I mean, in the Guinness, to be able to go in the book, you need everybody to dance 5+ minutes and all to be doing the same step. We put it on small video and we matched the music to be more than 5 minutes. And then we sent it to all the schools around Cyprus and they taught it to their students. And then each school they went to participate. Ayanapa covered all their cost and everything, the buses to come there. I remember more than 700 dancers spread near the Ayanapa harbor. And we all danced to the same tune, the same steps. And it was a nice day to be remembered. Eurovision Song Contest is actually the biggest artistic program, and the experience comes from many angles because of you see how everybody works, from the cameraman, from the studio, from the lighting, it was amazing, and being there on stage and to see how many people are passionate about Eurovision, because there are a lot of people that are crazy about it. They follow the Eurovision contest everywhere they go. But it was a great experience. I got invited from the Russian ballet to represent Cyprus and Greece. So they are putting out a show now. This company has a lot of different shows. So they're putting a new show, which is an international show. For me, the honor was in 3 ways. I had the chance to teach dancers like that, to get in front of them and teach them. And be able to share heritage and my knowledge and try to explain to them all about Greek dancing and Zebekigo, and not only Zebekigo, we did a lot of Greek dances. The second was to choreograph for them. It's not something you do every day, choreographing for the Russian ballet. And the third one, I had the chance to perform with them.
Let us talk about your passion for Latin dance and the 2 successful initiatives, Salsa Cyprus and Cyprus Tango.
We managed to run 3 events, the Cyprus Salsa Congress, the Cyprus Tango meeting, and the Bachata Festival. So the concept is the same, the dance changes, so the audience change, because other people have interest in tango, other in bachata, other in salsa. And it unites, the whole thing helps promote Cyprus. Life is not measured by the number of breaths you take, but by the numbers of moments that take your breath. And in dancing, there are a lot of moments that take your breath. So that's connect me with that.
His Excellency Mr. Joseph Borghese is the Honorary Consul of the Kingdom of Tonga in Cyprus. A well-known figure in both the public and private sectors, Mr. Borghese is also the founder of many initiatives, including the humanitarian organization Hope for Children. Your Excellency, your vast experience in entrepreneurial and humanitarian activities has often brought you to be part of official delegations meeting Cyprus's trade partners. Let us talk about your passion for investment in technology, education, shipping and hospitality, among others, which will benefit both Cyprus and the Kingdom of Tonga.
I studied international relations and diplomacy. Even though I was involved in businesses or humanitarian affairs, always wanted to have some sort of connection to my studies. And the position of Honorary Consul of the Kingdom of Tonga fulfilled those wishes. And right now, we are trying to build the bilateral relationship between Cyprus and Kingdom of Tonga. As far as I remember, 22nd of June 2009, the diplomatic relation between Cyprus and Kingdom of Tonga was established. With my initiative, we have managed to sign an MOU between European University Cyprus and Christ University Pacific for under the Erasmus program for exchange of knowledge, exchange of students and the researchers. And also I am discussing with Deputy Ministry for Shipping for cooperation between the two countries so that the shipping industry in Tonga would be developed based on the best practices from Cyprus.
In 2019, you were acknowledged for your social contribution by the Cyprus Chamber of Commerce and Industry, receiving the Cyprus Young Entrepreneur Award for Hopeful Children. What inspired you to establish this wonderful philanthropic organization?
While I was studying in Cyprus in 2007, I used to be involved in a research program on human rights. During this process, I realized that in Cyprus there is no child helpline. That triggered me to establish the organization Hope for Children in 2007, and in 2008 we created the organization together with my friends and professors. And right now the organization is one of the biggest. It employs 125 full-time staff members. We run the child helpline, missing children hotline, Amber Alert system. We have shelters for unaccompanied children, center for sexually abused children, and bullying programs in the schools, so whatever you can imagine. I believe because the Cyprus trusted on our work, that's the reason that because of Cypriot support that it has reached where it is reached. In US, in New York, we have already registered our office for Hope for Children. The main aim of the office is to do research and advocate within the UN agencies, and also do fundraising for the organization in Cyprus, bringing together Cypriots living in New York or in US generally to be part of our project. Meanwhile, I was involved in the organization. I also started my businesses like Borghese Ventures. Borghese Ventures has different arms, and one of the arms is on technology, and technology, especially next generation technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchain and IoT. We have solutions on different fields from the shipping, hospitality, edutech, meditech and agritech. Agritech is one of the innovative solutions that we have created, and it is currently implemented in Japan and Taiwan in the agriculture sector. I would say agritech is a policy-driven project because the European Commission has a strategy for a Green Deal, and under the Green Deal there's a farm-to-fork strategy which also try to bring young generation back to the agriculture sector. And the young generations to come back to the agriculture sector, we strongly believe technology plays a vital role. Cyprus is unique because Cyprus has lots of agriculture sector, agriculture fields, but those are underused. In order to implement our technology, we cannot copy and paste. We need to do research to see if our technology can be implemented in Cyprus, and we have conducted the Agriculture Research Institute or Center of the Republic of Cyprus to find the way to do research and adapt our solution into Cypriot market. One of my aim is to promote the tourism of Tonga in Cyprus and generally in Europe, and also to bring possible investments in Tonga, especially on a tourism sector and also fishery sector, and to have a close cooperation with Cyprus as a Republic of Cyprus and Kingdom of Tonga in the sector of maritime, hospitality or education.
Elisabeth Kesterlian is continuing her journey as a certified trainer of professional development courses, collaborating with educational institutions and organizations in Cyprus, training people to put their internal and external customers at the center of their business strategy. Elisabeth, let us talk about your critical role as a corporate trainer and what has led you to where you are right now.
My debut as a trainer was when I was working at Reuters, at Thomson Reuters, and I decided to take training as part of my personal development plan. So that was my first contact with training, and eventually I created a team of trainers with expertise and delivered trainings on site in Nicosia for all the employees and the colleagues. At the same time, I launched a project. It was a Six Sigma project on customer service that gave me an advantage to continue my path through the customer experience. And it was around 2016 when the company decided to switch from service to experience. It was a completely different mindset. That was the time when I realized customer experience was something a lot more and bigger, starting from a consumer being aware about the product throughout the sales, the purchase, and then the advocacy, which means basically along the whole customer experience life cycle from the beginning and until the end. So it was a mindset changing experience. I was coaching the frontline people. At the same time, I was coaching my peers and also reporting my achievements and the team's achievements globally to my manager and the global head. And that was the end of my career with Reuters, with the closure of the office. So I decided to combine my skills in training and my passion for customer experience together. I left Lebanon a long time ago, in 1980. So I came here, I continued my studies at school in Limassol. Then I continued my further studies, I got married, and I settled in Nicosia. I also believe in full social integration. So I married a Cypriot, my children are raised as a Cypriot, so I'm very much at home now.
How would you describe your training style?
My training style is interactive. I ask a lot of questions. I want people to get their ideas out of their head, to share their experiences with other people as well within the participant group. I trigger their curiosity. I want to see them work, hands-on approach with practical exercises in class. So basically, I want to get things out from them as well, as part of their learning experience.
Becoming a customer-centric business is key to branding differentiation. How does one drive growth and create lifetime value from customers who will eventually appreciate you beyond the products you sell?
The customer is always right as long as the organization is 100% correct from their end. I would say from my personal experience, 99% of the time they are right. Seeking feedback is very important. In Cyprus, there is this big culture that people or organizations, businesses first, they don't know how to ask for feedback, and people are not used to providing feedback. So this is a big thing. Having said that, companies, if they seek feedback and they work on improving their customer experience, then they could drive lifetime value.
As an associate of the Cyprus Mail, you're contributing to two of the paper's highly successful platforms, Career Express and Cyprus 4. Tell us about that.
For me, unifying Cyprus 4 with Careers Express is like bringing purpose, people, and technology together. Given that these two digital products are the new era of the Cyprus Mail brand, I am privileged to help pioneer new conversations with business leaders and the innovation community of the island. As far as content goes, Careers Express is allowing my colleagues and I to present topics that are relevant to our multi-generational audience. I'm so excited to see the possibilities to engage and deliver value in our mobile-first world. I get motivated when I work with my colleagues like you, and I have other colleagues as well on daily basis. From my readings, I get a lot of energy from my partner in life, from my sons, from my grandson, to achieve my goals, my personal and my professional goals. My personal motto is evolution. Evolution and evolution, to evolve constantly and continuously with time. To be better as a person and to be better as a professional.
Rose, is this another one of those Scandinavian Viking concoctions?
Yes! It's called Gnurkenflirten cake. It's an ancient recipe, but I Americanized it.
Yeah, so one might say you brought Geflirkenerken into the 80s?
Yes, but I'm not one to blow my own Vertuvenflugen.
Betty White's performance as the lovably dim Rose Nyland on The Golden Girls earned her an Emmy and the hearts of generations of fans. Born outside Chicago in 1922, Betty Marion White was the only child of Horace Logan White and Christine Kahikis. Her paternal grandfather was Danish and her maternal grandfather was Greek, with the other roots being English and Welsh. White's remarkable resume included work in radio, television and film. A tireless worker, Betty appreciated the fact that she was still working, something she was most grateful for.
If you have one good series, you know, it's a blessing. 2 good series is unusual. 3 is, where do you get privileges like that? I taste it every minute.
Early on in her career, White said she was regularly typecast as Icky Sweet, but her turn as Sue Ann Nivens on The Mary Tyler Moore Show allowed her to embrace such cloying characteristics while subverting them with a ribald edge that became her trademark for decades to come.
Oh, my poor baby!
In the 1980s, Betty White scored her second most iconic role as the lovably dim Rose Nyland on The Golden Girls. The show was a ratings smash, ran for 7 seasons, and helped win White her 3rd Emmy.
As they say in St. Olaf, Helderbargen Moroccan
And in 2010, White teamed up with Wendy Malick, Valerie Bertinelli and Jane Leaves for the TV Land series Hot in Cleveland, a proud throwback to the classic sitcoms of the 80s that became a surprise hit and ran for 6 seasons. Off-screen, Betty White had 2 great passions in her life, including animals of all kinds, working tirelessly as an activist for animal rights. Her greatest love, though, was for her husband, password host Alan Ludden. She was a contest on the show, and after popping the question, the couple were married in 1963.
I said no for a year. I wasted a whole year of time we could have had together.
After Ludden died in 1981, Betty White remained a constant presence on television, hosting Saturday Night Live at the impressive age of 88. In an interview with People magazine in 2021, Betty White revealed how lucky she was to be in good health, adding that she was born a cockeyed optimist, always finding the positive in everything. White worried that people were tired of seeing her on television. She even speculated this for her gravestone.
At last, she's gone. She finally got off.
A few weeks shy of her 100th birthday, Betty White, the beloved Greek-American actress and comedian whose career in Hollywood spanned nearly 8 decades, died peacefully in her sleep at home. But even at 99, Betty White left us wanting more.
All right, let's do it again from the top.
Marry me, say yes. Marry me, say yes.
The Marry Me concert tour is something you will not want to miss. In 36 hours, superstar Kat Valdez and Grammy-winning Bastion will perform their new song, Marry Me, and exchange vows in front of a streaming audience of 20 million people.
See you tomorrow.
Tonight.
I'll be the one in the veil.
Pop sensation and celebrated actor Jennifer Lopez is all set to return to the big screen with her upcoming romantic comedy Marry Me. The film also features Owen Wilson and Latin music star Maluma in leading roles. Dragged to a concert by his daughter and best friend, Charlie's fate is about to change when music sensation Kat Valdez's life turns left and in a moment of insanity chooses to marry Charlie.
Hold this. I'm told that 20 million people are supposed to watch as we take our vows. They say if you want something different, you have to do something different. Why not? Yes. I'll marry you. You. This movie, for me, was very personal. Like, I really understood this life. Kat Valdez, she's a global superstar. She's strong and confident. She's a businesswoman. She's a boss. But also, she's just a regular person. She's a regular girl who needs love and who wants to feel like she has a home. At the opening of the movie, Kat is about to get married. She's doing this huge concert with her boyfriend of a couple years.
Yo como personaje soy una estrella, un pop star. Le encanta su carrera, le encanta su música. Es muy apasionado.
But in 1 second, everything changes.
Charlie is a math teacher. He has, kind of a simple life.
Your first time bowling.
There's a level of fantasy to this movie of this normal everyman, Charlie Gilbert, being picked by this huge celebrity and coming into this lavish world of excess and sparkles and beauty and wealth.
What do I do?
Just stand and smile.
This is the most unbelievable thing that could ever happen in life.
Right now, 237,000 people are like, he looks like he's in math club.
I am in a math club.
I don't know, hanging with you guys today, I don't know, it made me feel kind of normal.
Come with me to the fall semi-formal.
Are you asking me to the school dance?
Well, I could leave a note in your locker. Call me if you're lonely. Hello?
I'm lonely. Are you afraid she'll fall back in love with Bastion and dump you? I'd be afraid of that too.
We don't need to pretend. I don't fit.
Marry Me is a romantic musical comedy drama to be enjoyed on Valentine's Day or any other day of the year, reminding us of what love can mean, at least in a Hollywood setting.
Who do you think you are, man? Some fan?
No, I'm not a fan. I am now.
Stay connected and follow us on social media. If you want to be featured on Culturescope, contact our production team by visiting the website below. Until next time, stay safe and let culture transform your life.